Hey guys, okay, so over the next few days we will be making a couple of videos for regarding the CBSE topics for science and maths. Now these videos are meant for people who don't particularly listen in class, and I urge you all to not use this as your study material. Just use this as your reference material for the exams. By the way, this is for the third term only. Hey guys, okay, so for today we'll be going over chapter 16, that's management of natural resources. Now, have you ever wondered why do we actually need to manage our resources? Why not just go on using the computer, go on using the internet, whatever you want forever and ever, and use up electricity, drink water, waste water, do whatever you want? Well, it is very hard to get natural resources as it is. Like, for example, you have coal and petroleum. Now we tend to take our cars, our own cars at that, and we use a way too much of petroleum. Petrol is a product formed after the purification of petroleum. Okay, anyways, as I was saying, so you have stuff like coal and petroleum. Now this stuff, it takes millions of years to actually form, and we tend to use it in a matter of a day, or maybe not even a day, maybe hours. So it is estimated that in about 200 years we won't even have this stuff, this important thing, this really valuable resource. And it is because we are using it at our own free will. We do not even consider using alternatives to it. Like for instance, well, this is not technically an alternative, but you can say using the bus instead of using your own car, or using a cycle. A cycle will be much better. I mean, technically you won't be using any, in fact not even technically, you won't be using any sort of petrol. Alright, so anyways, now that we've gone into why do we need to manage our resources, let's go into a little bit of how we can actually do this. Well, you have the 3 R's, that is reduce. Actually, never mind, I'm just gonna type it down again. You have the 3 R's, that's reduce, recycle and reuse. Now, between recycle and reuse, which do you think will be better? Recycling glass or plastics, all sorts of plastics, and transforming them into new products like, say, paper and all that. Actually, not into paper but into other products, using energy, or just reusing this glass and plastic without any energy. Of course, reusing anything is better than recycling, but still it is better if you recycle things, because many people are there who are quite hygienic about this stuff, and other reasons also. But yeah, actually it's better if you reuse, don't recycle. No wait, recycle, but try to go for reuse as well, as much as you can. Next, you have the reduce. Now basically this means reducing use of any sort of plastic item. It is usually said that you should carry a jute bag, that's a Jute. I'm sorry if I pronounced it wrong, but yeah, anyways, you should carry a jute bag instead of a polythene bag, that's plastic, because when we use plastic, to recycle plastic, people often burn it to get other materials from it, and that actually produces CO2, and that actually is a greenhouse gas, and it's quite harmful also. So yeah, you have that, and yeah, that's about it. So now how about we go into forest and wildlife. Now, what are forests? Forests are basically, you know what forests are. It's basically where you have all sorts of animals and all sorts of water bodies, and all sorts of biodiversities. That's the interrelation between the living and non-living components, or between two living components. So next, what are wildlife? That's quite easy as well. Wildlife are basically untamed animals that depend on themselves, not on other people, and that have not been domesticated either. So yeah, that's about it. Now, many people, mostly factory owners, like furniture companies, they usually go for trees for furniture, like you have a wooden sofa or something like that, wooden chair, not wooden sofa but wooden chair. You require wood for this. So usually they prefer to cut down trees from the forest, because, well, they kind of have to, but anyways. So you have many people in the forest who actually help save the forests. Like you have the people who live inside the forest itself, like tribal people or villagers. Next you have people around the forest, that's again villagers, maybe like small towns or something. And then you have your forest department. That's basically a department kept by the government to ensure the safety of the forest, to actually make sure that the forest is not destroyed horribly. And finally, not finally, but next you have your nature enthusiasts. That's basically people who love nature. Next, now this is the final, this is industrialists. Now they do care about the forest to an extent, but usually they just prefer to take all the wood from the forests. And yeah, that's about it. How about we go into, say, the uses of forests, or what do forests provide us with? Well, this to the local people over there, you have forests basically provide them with wood or small timber or straw. This they use to make all sorts of things. They can be really creative. You'll be amazed when you see them. Then they have bamboo baskets. Bamboo baskets. Sometimes they make straw baskets for collecting and storing materials. Then the forest itself, they use it as they take small areas of the forest and make it say an agricultural area where they grow plants for their own benefits, actually for the entire community's benefit. But yeah, next you have fishing. They, as you know, fishing, just take fishes and all that from ponds. And yeah, that's it. And also they provide us with food, with the most important thing, oxygen, and fruits. They provide cattle also with grass to graze around with. That's good for the cattle. And yeah, that's about it with about the uses of forests. The movement was called the Chipko Andolan movement, and this basically means hug the tree movement. Now this had originated in a village called Reni in Garhwal in the early 1970s. Now basically what had happened was woodcutters had come to cut down the trees, and the women, they had quickly returned from their duties and had clasped the trees. Now this resulted in a mass massacre of the women, and just to get a bunch of trees. Now however, this was a very powerful movement, and after now I read this story somewhere. After the king had actually found out about this, about the fact that the women had actually died for the trees, the king actually told the woodcutters to vacate the area. The woodcutters had actually cut through the women just to get the trees. That was pretty horrible. Yeah, it's too sad. Alright, now let's go into something less sad. Water, the almighty liquid of life. Alright, so now why do we need water? Well, we need water for ourselves, first of all, to quench our thirst. Then we need water for agriculture. We need water for animals to quench their thirst. And I'm going to go around this again. We need water for agriculture. Now why do we need water for agriculture? Well, basically plants require water. That's it. So many people have actually well, not many people, but this one particular tribe in Rajasthan, they had they had thought of the act of saving water as a sort of a religious thing. So they had thought of many ways to actually save water to the last drop. That included digging holes in the ground just for water to pop out, to have rainwater harvesting. That's basically, you have your hut or your house. This is a very poor house, I know, but actually it's not for, so it's, you can actually use it for any type of house. It's you have a house. Now the water will keep on falling downwards and it'll actually get collected over here on the roof. Now from here there'll be a very how to say, there would be a pipe that would lead into a small storage tank underground. And well, this storage tank would hold the water. Now sometimes they would actually just leave the water as it is. They would leave the tank as it is. Sometimes they would actually make a small they'd actually barred, you can say, I'm not sure if I used it right, but they would surround the entire tank with metal so that the water wouldn't actually escape. And now usually they wouldn't collect the first harvest, you can say, of rainwater, because it would actually clear out the roof. It would actually clean the roof. The second harvest, the second rain shower, they would actually collect water from that and store it into a tank. Next you had dams. Now dams, the concept was pretty simple. You had a small, no wait, what am I drawing? Yeah, you have a small river body over here. Alright, and now this leads to an ocean. So you can build a dam over here, and this would actually help in storing water. Now of course water would be let go to a certain extent, but not all of it. So you would have a small little collection of water over here. Now the good thing about this is it would be easy for people to actually take out the water and use it for themselves or for agricultural purposes. However, the bad thing is sometimes during a monsoon, water would overflow and literally would cause floods in that area. And I'm not talking about simple 10 feet or something flood. I'm talking about massive floods. So yeah, dams also had their own problems. First of all, many people actually objected to the idea of dams because of the floods and all. Now over here, okay, you have your dam, you had the river body that's there, and you had I'm gonna go for 3D dam. Yeah, there you go. Okay, let's go for 3D dam. This doesn't look at all like a 3D dam, but never mind, leave it. You have a dam over there. Now you have a nice big area full of water that's like here this much and maybe this much. This entire area would be full of water. However, the area up front, even though water would go, but it wouldn't be enough. It would actually create a water shortage in the area up front. So this also raised a couple of issues with the people in front of the dam, ahead of the dam, sorry. Next type of water harvesting was by creating small reservoirs. That's basically a small basin, you can say. That's actually it. Some people would prefer to actually just build a small, not build but dig a small hole, because when the upper surface, the upper area, the surface on top, it's quite hard for water to actually to seep in through the area, considering like if it's brick or anything like that. But if they were to dig through that and actually make a minor basin, it would actually help them recharge the groundwater. Now this would be helpful because then they could actually create small underground wells, and I'm pretty sure you must have seen this kind of well. It goes way underground, way deep underground, and I really forgot the name of this well, but just to get water from it, there would be this would be our ground. This would be the ground. Now people would actually hang a bucket on top along with a pulley over here, and the bucket would be somewhere around here. It would take the water and then they would have to pull it back up. It would be that deep that they actually required a bucket to do this. They actually required rope and a bucket, not just a bucket. So yeah, now I'm just going to quickly show you the certain techniques used by different places for the water conservation. And yes, that's it. Then I'll show you, and I'll talk about the final topic, that's how to save petroleum. Actually, I already did. I just had to mention a couple of points, and yeah, that's about it. Okay, you guys can feel free to even pause the video, because that would be better. It would save a lot more time. Now, coal is the main use of coal. Barbecue! Woohoo! I don't know why I drew some sort of weird MB thing, but anyways, well, one use of coal is it's used in thermal power plants. That's like they boil water using coals, and the steam from the water is actually used to rotate a motor that produces electricity, which is then supplied to houses. So that's one use of coal. Next is barbecue. Okay, I really should stop doing that. Anyway, sorry. Now we all use petrol for say our car. We use it to actually mostly for our car only. And now this, along with coal, both are called fossil fuels. Well, both are included under the term fossil fuels, and these usually take millions of years to use, and we use it in a matter of hours. So as I said when we first started the video, it is estimated that in about 200 years we won't even have these things. We won't have these luxuries. So well, I'll just write down a quick 4 quick ways to actually minimize the use of petroleum. Actually, you know what? No, I'll say it. It's quite easy. First of all, use a bus, or better yet, use a cycle that doesn't even use petrol. Use bulbs or fluorescent tubes in your house, because they consume less energy, and well, fluorescent tubes, they actually provide more light as well. So it's like a win-win situation right there. Next, you can, instead of using lifts which actually use up electricity, you can go for, say, the stairs. And I don't mean escalators, because even they use up energy. I know it's hard to think that moving steps use energy, but they do. Anyways, go for steps, the stationary stuff that actually require you to climb, and at the end you'll be like finally I'm over here. Okay, leaving that all aside, next you can go for sweaters. Wear extra sweaters instead of switching on the radiator or heater, whatever you call it. So yeah, that's about it. And with this, we have finished this chapter as well. Whew, now only 2 more chapters left. Now if you've been listening, you should have understood why do we actually need to manage resources. Then what are forests and what are wildlife? How people have tried to protect the forest, who all tried to protect the forest. Then the types of water harvesting methods, and finally the uses of coal and petroleum and how to conserve them.